it's a difficult job I have. But every time I meet with them and talk to them, they really gave me energy. My, if you will, resolve. I would never give up. Like they have never given up, and they would not give up. So that was a very nice morning.
Thanks. Sherife?
Would you allow me to go off topic just a little bit? Thank you very much, Madam. I'm Sherife Chitin from Anadolu Agency. I want to ask you about the situation in Gaza. The UN Human Rights Office report had indicated that the IDF may have repeatedly violated fundamental principles of the laws of war through the use of extensive explosive weapons in densely populated areas. An independent organization has concluded that between October 2023 and June 2024, Israel has dropped 70,000 tons of bombs on the Gaza Strip. That's exceeding World War II bombings in Dresden, Hamburg, and London combined. And if I'm not mistaken, that's about 5 times the firepower that the US nuclear bomb that destroyed Hiroshima. So how do you think Israel's systematic and expanding attacks in the region affect the historical achievements that were made in the area of disarmament? Thank you.
Well, I think the impact is not just on disarmament, but it is really on the entire international law, the international order on the basis, international order on the basis of international law. I made a statement, long remarks to the opening of the first committee, which just opened this week on Monday. And I think we need to definitely get back to, respecting international law, including, of course, UN Charter, but also international humanitarian law. So I think the message from the United Nations, not just from myself, but from the Secretary General, from the High Commissioner for Human Rights, my colleagues from other departments, I think it has been very, very clear. And I hope that the world will continue to message this, because what we really need to do is to restore respect for international law. The Secretary General's speech at the Summit of the Future started with that.
Do you find this trend alarming, though?
Absolutely.
The data?
Absolutely. Yes, I talked about also, in our area of disarmament, we also have a work stream on what we call EUPA, explosive weapons in populated areas. Large weapons that has an indiscriminate impact, and therefore indiscriminate impact on civilian population, really should not be used in large urban centers. And we have been working with many countries to make sure that this norm is adhered to and have further advancements.
Thank you. I believe we have a question online from Stefano Vacara.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Paran. Yes, I have a question. It's about the Nobel Peace Prize. Do you think that this award is actually arriving a little bit late, could have arrived also before? Do you think that this should make all the world, and especially here in this country, reflect on the use of atomic bomb, the history, how it was used against Japan, and that, and still today there is a kind of justification on the use to end the war, and maybe this award should be a moment to reflect and again to assert the fact that that weapon should never been used.
Well, I don't want to actually talk about the past. And the reason is that the work of the Hibakushas and Nihon Hidankyo is really focusing on, rather than looking back, make sure that we will not make new hibakushas. Their slogans are no more Hiroshima, no more Nagasaki. Their slogans are that Nagasaki really has to be the last place on earth to suffer this kind of inhumane weapons. And further, they have actually focused on peace and reconciliation. So in their spirit, I think we need to really focus on how to make sure that their wishes are actually going to be achieved. From my own perspectives of the UN High Representative for Disarmament, it is also about the security of humankind. We talk about nuclear risks. I still hope that no state will intentionally use nuclear weapons, but the risks of miscalculation, misunderstanding, leading to a potential use of nuclear weapons is unacceptably high at the moment. And therefore, if we want to eliminate the risks associated with nuclear weapons, the only way to really eliminate the risk is to eliminate nuclear weapons themselves. So, the both humanitarian perspectives and security perspectives, we need to make sure that we actually return to nuclear disarmament and then going back towards the path of elimination. So my message on the occasion of the Nobel Peace Prize is to really look at the future and future of ourselves and our future generation, younger generation, and the generations that are still not born yet. It is a collective priority, I would say, for all of us.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Thank you for your press briefing, Ms. Nakamitsu. My question is about the Nuclear Ban Treaty, TPNW. So what kind of impact do you think this will have on TPNW? And one more, so as you know, Japanese government doesn't accept the treaty. So do you have any comment to the Japanese government about the TPNW? No.
Well, I'm sure the TPNW community, both states parties of that treaty, but also the civil society people behind that treaty are really happy this morning. I haven't spoken to anyone from that community yet because it just happened today. But I'm sure that will create further momentum for the TPNW community as well. And the hibakusha themselves, actually, they were absolutely instrumental in also creating that treaty as well. Now, the Japanese government has been saying that, that treaty is and will be important as a sort of end state of a nuclear disarmament. So I don't think that they are outright, denying the utility of the TPNW. Of course, whether they will sign and ratify, accede to the treaty or not, is up to their priority. And then I hope that there will be some considerations, perhaps to participate or attend the meetings of states parties of that treaty, the TPNW, as observers. The treaty allows for any any government's non-state party to attend meetings of states parties as observers. So perhaps in the initial instance, they could consider taking that step to better understand the priorities of the TPNW and then their future work. And also it is an opportunity for non-state parties to express their views about the treaty, potentially to also improve the treaty mechanisms as well. The TPNW is still a new treaty. If you talk to the states parties of the TPNW, they are very well aware that there are many aspects they still need to work on and develop. So hopefully many other states will be able to contribute to that work of developing the treaty further.
I see no further questions. So with that, I would like once more to thank our guest, Izumi Nakamitsu, the High Representative for Disarmament Affairs. And again, a reminder, for those of you who are Japanese or Japanese-speaking media, if you want to talk to Ms. Nakamitsu, she will be in the disarmament corridor now that we're done here.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and Reuters TV carried your part of the briefing live.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you don't have positive news that often these days.